Hey there. Because of all the recent advances, it has become extremely easy to start a business, especially an e-commerce business in this country. The opportunities to get products, to set up a website, to get access to platforms like Amazon has made it possible for a lot of mom and pop stores, a lot of small businesses and passive income earners to have an opportunity to set up their own e-commerce brands and hopefully grow along the way. And a lot of people have. But people don't often realize that there are a lot of challenges despite all the ease of access or the lowering of barrier of entry, that these challenges remain. And it's very important for small businesses and aspiring entrepreneurs to be well aware of these challenges before they decide to venture into the fabulous environment or the field of CPG brands. So one of the biggest challenges is the competition. It is a hot space. There is a lot of money being pumped into building brands and securing new sources of marketing and revenue channels. There is so much interest because of the immediate impact that has been seen over the years, and also exacerbated by the fact that the pandemic has even put more pressure on a lot of people to identify passive income sources and also brands who are traditionally in the brick and mortar space to get into the e-commerce brands. And that competition is very hot in almost every single category you can imagine, especially on platforms like Amazon. And it has become increasingly difficult to find a niche or find a profitable enough niche to get into. The second biggest challenge is the customer acquisition and retention. Because of platforms like Amazon and Walmart, people are becoming less and less brand loyal. All they care about is price and value. And the moment they find it, regardless of where it is, people usually gravitate towards it. And hence, the process of acquiring customers is getting increasingly expensive because of the fact that platforms like Amazon, again, have become a pay-to-play platform where unless you invest a lot in Amazon in terms of ads, in terms of fees, you do not have an opportunity or an access to the tremendous pipeline of customers that they provide. And even once you do acquire a customer, unlike in traditional channels where you have remarketing efforts or repurchase efforts that you can do, on these platforms, you're quite restricted in your ability to convince existing customers to come again and buy again and incentivize them to do so, again, because of the huge opportunities that are available to them. The third and probably the biggest challenge that results in a lot of early stage brands not able to grow is supply chain and logistics management. One of the biggest factors in determining the success of an e-commerce brand is its profitability. And one of the biggest strains on profitability is the supply chain and logistic costs. Especially since most of the products come from overseas, it is very important to be aware of the fact that those brands succeed who are able to acquire products at a very low cost. And that cost advantage could mean the difference between success and failure for these e-commerce brands. And the fourth is competitor threats. And by that, I mean, because of the lot of interest that has happened globally in e-commerce space, there has been situations where competitors have tried to stifle up and coming brands and other competitors in the form of trademark cease and desist, false patent claims, and also doing under the table acts like buy box hijacking and over purchasing a product and then returning them, so that it puts a lot of financial strain on early stage brands. This is quite a prevalent thing currently on e-commerce platforms, again, because of the huge potential. And it is very hard to control, identify, and prevent such attacks. And so as an e-commerce entrepreneur, you need to be aware that once you see a hint of growth, you will be faced with a lot of attacks that are visible and attacks that are not. And finally, the biggest challenge for entrepreneurs, CPG entrepreneurs, is adapting to technological change. As things evolve, as the backend evolves with the incoming technological changes in terms of LLMs and the ever-evolving changing algorithms on platforms like Google, Amazon, Apple, who are constantly changing the policies, of course, to suit themselves, it is inadvertently affecting a lot of these small sellers and are restricting their ability to price higher or attract new customers. And it's one of those things where for example, Amazon recently introduced some low inventory fees, which has affected almost every e-commerce brand that is selling on Amazon. But there is little to nothing they can do about it because of the tremendous monopoly that Amazon has in the e-commerce field. So these are the 5 challenges that are prevalent for e-commerce brands. But I'm not telling this to demotivate you. We have worked with over 50 brands who have started from scratch, and we have seen them and have received a front row seat in their growth. and have contributed to them as well. And so these challenges have come because of my experience working with them. But given, despite all these challenges, it is definitely an amazing space. And like I said, if you are able to acquire products at a low cost, are passionate about a product, and have correctly identified the need in the market that has remained unfulfilled, you have an amazing chance to succeed in the space.